Okay, we are live, everybody. My name is Behzad.
My name is Risa.
And we are here streaming live from Yokohama, Japan to bring to you your weekly Wonder Looper live stream, the greatest live stream in the history of all live streams. Risa, welcome. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How about you?
Also, well. It's been, I guess, the last 2 weeks? I guess 2 weeks ago was the last live stream. It's been quite busy. We've been out and about around the world and back again. So we're going to talk to you guys about our travels, what went down at the Gerhard Supply meet and greet event. We've got some updates on Wonder Looper office, retail store situation. Things are going on there. Things are moving or not moving, depends on your perspective. We've got some shipping updates and just a whole lot more. Some recent pickups. We're going to talk about some of the stuff we picked up recently. I guess that is part of the title. Okay, well, let's check in with you guys and see where everybody is tuning in from. And before we get into even all of that, everybody, if you're in the live stream right now, hit the like button. Let everybody know that you're here, and we're going to get all kinds of wonderful things from the YouTube lords. So, let's check in with the stream. Solvents, hello from Scotto Lando. Good to see you, my friend. We've got BD, the producer. Hello from Southern Ontario, enjoying my new Sumi Black tea.
Nice.
Which she picked up
At Gerhard.
at the Gerhard event. It's good to meet you, finally, in person, Mr. BD, the producer. Christian, greetings from Pasadena, California. I'm wearing my double heavyweight Fox fiber hoodie this evening. The natural color still amazes me. I'm glad to hear it. I wore my Fox fiber hoodie to Canada for I mean, it wasn't the heart and soul of the winter, but it was still pretty cold. And that paired up with just a down vest got me through the entire trip. No problem.
Mind you, it was very puffy down vest, but your arms were not protected.
No. I felt good. I was comfortable. It was no problem. Sour Turtle says, hey, from Maine, your heavyweights are saving my winter. Well, I'm glad you're keeping cozy in our heavyweight sweats or tees. It depends. Well, they both work. Invis Ian's DC is in the house. Simon, Quebec City, bonjour, mon ami. Steven Copel Cam. That was my Quebec accent. Greetings from Wisconsin in my Fox Fiber zip. Good to see you. A pimp named Slickback. Hello. Hope the meet went well. Well, thank you very much. It did go quite well, actually. NB, I don't know how to pronounce that, but hello from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We got Ace, hi from San Francisco. Solvents asks, how was your trip last week? We missed you guys. Well, we missed you too. We're going to get into that in just a moment. Simon says, just started sewing kits and realized how well constructed. Simon says, just started sewing knits and realized just how well constructed the Wonder Looper tees are. My reference for my first try at making a t-shirt made with my brand new cover stitch machine. Well, fantastic. I hope you're enjoying your newfound hobby. Melody Murray, hello from Tucson. Good to see you. Wearing my French Terry hoodie on this cool day. Jeremy Sims, double heavyweight Terry and Fox Fiber True Guys, keeping me warm in this brutal LA winter. Brutal LA winter. Does it get so brutal in the Los Angeles?
When you live there, coldness would just be like, oh my God.
Might feel that way. Come to Quebec in February and feel the real power of winter. Minus 36 with a high of a minus 24. So, it's going to put some hair on your chest. I don't miss walking outside and feeling your beard instantly freeze. I know you've never experienced that.
That never experienced, but I've felt my nose hair.
Yeah, just
yeah.
That's when it's really cold. You've got no chance. All right, we've got Snowy in the house. Say hi, Snowy. Hi, Snowy. All right, Jeremy Sims, double heavyweight Terry Fox Fiber True Guys. That's also, well, I'm not wearing a double heavyweight. I'm wearing the Super Looper with my Naked Famous Dirty Fade True Guys today. Junior, hey y'all. Christian B, California checking in. Missed the last 2 streams, but I'm back campaigning for pocket tees, so I have a place to put my glasses. Pro tip. Bam. Collar works very well. But I hear you. Go Punta Cana Real Estate. Go Punta Cana. Go Real Estate. From Frisco, Texas now, wearing my first Naked and Famous MIJ 12s. Waiting on the double heavyweight tees coming soon. I hope to complete my outfit. They are coming soon. We're going to talk about that. And we've got Michael checking in from San Antonio. Good to see you, Junior. Solid tip. You are very welcome. And Peter Dan, hi from SoCal, wearing my oatmeal Fox Fiber hoodie. Also beating the brutal LA winter. All right. And
maybe it's colder this year.
Yeah, that's true. I shouldn't.
If you're not used to it.
Yeah, that's it. I've been in Thailand where it was like 40 degrees. And then at nighttime, it gets to like 20, and I'm like, you feel cold. So I shouldn't judge. I shouldn't judge. If you feel cold, you feel cold. That's it. All right. Well, good to see everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We are back from Toronto. So we had a quick little in-and-out trip to my homeland where we did a great meet-and-greet event in Toronto there at Gerhard Supply, and I have to say it was pretty magnificent.
It was there was a lot of people. We got to meet a lot of the people representing Wonder Looper. Just everybody showed up in their Wonder Looper gear. There's a few people who traveled very far to come there, so we really, really appreciated that.
It was incredible. I mean, wherever you traveled from, near or far, we definitely appreciate you coming in. But some people had driven like 5 hours. Like, people came in from New York. There was one couple in from Alaska. No, I don't think that they came just for us, but they just happened to be in town. But I mean, it was a lot of people from near and far, everybody representing Wonder Looper. And, it was our first time, I think, being in a room where everybody was wearing Wonder Looper. So that was a pretty cool experience.
Yeah, I mean, it was a first, in-person anything, event. So it was fantastic. Gerhard was a great host. They were, they had awesome onigiri food, and they also brought in a real bartender.
That's right,
professional bartender for the event.
So there was a lot to enjoy there, and we got to meet with many of you. We got to hear your feedback. So we're definitely hearing from you. A lot of you are excited for that cashmere, the 100% baby cashmere French terry suriyami sweatshirt. I'm pretty actually impressed by the number of people who are I'm ready for it. I'm excited for that project to come out.
Yeah.
We had some requests for some double extra small. So we kind of get requests from all angles. Bigger sizes, smaller sizes. I think a lot of people see in us, I guess, the fact that we're independent and we can just do what we want. A way to perhaps make these requests and actually have them heard. So
yeah. I mean, obviously the reason why we do this the live streams is so that we can hear everybody's voice. Whoever is tuning in have the input, and we're actually reading all the comments. Not every question gets answered, but we are reading all the comments, and it's cool. That's how we form our brand, and it's so far working. So
I think so. So for everybody who came out there, thank you very, very, very much, and for all the people who wish they could be there, thank you too. I think this is sort of the first of hopefully many events that we'll be able to hold around the world.
Yeah.
We'll talk to your local Wonder Looper retailer, and maybe we'll schedule an event at a location near you. Anyhow,
that'd be cool.
we're gonna take this tour on the road. Tour on the road? Road on the tour? I don't know. I was trying to think of something clever.
Tour on the road.
Didn't work out. Christian B says, saw a Sukajan on the wall in the last stream. Could it have been foreshadowing a Wonder Looper Sukajan?
Not thinking about it.
No. The closest we ever thought about it was getting an embroidery machine, the same kind of embroidery machine that they use to make Sukajan.
Oh, I'm still thinking about it.
Yeah.
I didn't give up on the idea.
Let me get one of those jackets so we could explain. Maybe some people don't know what we're talking about.
Yes. Sukajan is it originated as they're called Sukajan, first of all, is because Yokosuka, it's a city near Yokohama, was very famous for having a American military base, and also they had like a whole industry of like a textile, and they had they did a lot of like custom embroidery work for the soldiers that were stationed in Yokosuka, and they would when they're going home, they would bring back the memory souvenir from their time in Japan. And a lot of the times, like, the embroidery was of like like a motif from Japanese culture, or even their military like their troops, or things like that. And then also it was like of the map of Japan or anything like that. And it was very, very interesting culture that started there, and that's why they call it Sukajan or souvenir jacket. This one is it says Okinawa. This is in the south, so it wasn't like only limited in Yokosuka. It was all over Japan who had like a military base. Okinawa is one of the big ones.
And this embroidery was all done by hand. Well, by machine, but hand operated. So
yeah, it's similar to my chain stitch machine. Yeah. It is a machine, but it is controlled by hand. And in this case, this is called like a, in Japanese we call it like a side.
You can say the Japanese
shaking,
word.
Yokohuri machine, and it is. Your hands are just basically moving the fabric on the top, and then your underneath the table, your knee is like it has like a bar kind of thing that your knee is basically moving and controlling where the needle goes.
Yeah.
So it is a very difficult skill, and as you can see, a lot of these like real vintage jackets are done just basically freehand or free leg.
Yeah, free-legged. And sometimes you'll find reversible ones like this one here. This is a vintage one that I have. I have some more modern ones, but even today, while you can still find these in Japan, fewer and fewer of them are made in Japan, the old school way.
I mean, a lot of, a few years ago, it was like a big trend of things like that. And a lot of it was just, some of it was made in Japan. A lot of it was made overseas, but some of it was made in Japan. But even fewer of that was made by, human-operated machines, because obviously now we have the technology of computerizing the embroidery, so a lot of it is made by the computer, which is obviously it's more perfect, It can do a lot of, very subtle details that humans may not be able to do. But at the same time, when it's done by a human, it's controlled by a human, all these like little imperfections, little like, kind of hand feel is beautiful. And we actually...
Hold on. I want to pull it because I have this. We went to an exhibit of one of these souvenir jackets last year in Japan. There was like this museum dedicated a section for it, and like you can see up here, these are like the sort of templates that they would use. So there's a lot of imagery that repeats in this world. So Yokohama. I want to find a jacket that says Yokohama just for obvious reasons, but like Risa was saying, a lot of it started off as just sort of customizing stuff for soldiers. So it started with like little napkins and bags and things like that, and then it worked its way into jackets and other things. There were pillows also.
These bags.
Yeah, these bags were really cool. They had these like actually on display. Yeah. So the soldiers would take them to these places, and that way, they would have a memory of their time in Japan, and sort of a souvenir to bring home, maybe for the wife or whomever. Or another thing that they would do is like the soldiers would draw sort of their own graphics, something that would represent maybe their troop or their squad or whatever, and the artisans here would then embroider these graphics onto jackets and things like that. So I'm always impressed by these, just because I do really appreciate the craftsmanship that goes into the embroidery here. And I think I saw a comment in there, somebody saying, it might be a little bit too loud to wear. And I think, I guess it depends on the occasion. I have a couple of these jackets, and, sometimes they're a little loud. Sometimes you want to be a little bit loud. And so I do enjoy them. And I think if you're coming from like the raw denim workwear world and, Japanese construction and things like that, I think eventually you find yourself in this land. And I think that maybe for the raw denim guys, souvenir jackets, Sukajans are a little bit less. They're not just kind of part of the raw denim jacket, boots, heavyweight hoodie, like that. There's certain things that, like, I think as being in that world, we like to have. Sukajan sort of, I think a lot of people kind of skip over it.
It's a little like that's also kind of the reason why it went big in the trendy, fashionable world. Also, I think it's just it's attention grabbing and it's a little bit flashy. So I get that. Yeah. But the history of it, and just the fact that there's so many like really interesting creative designs, and it's also like very distinctive, right? Like when you see it, you can recognize it. Yeah.
And it's so, like, to me, it's so Japanese American.
Yeah.
Right? Because it really is the melding of those two worlds together, and I think denim is also the same way. The way that we appreciate a lot of raw denim. So.
It's kind of like, some people like have said that like embroidery is basically tattooing your garment. And it really, like art of tattoo also has a very distinctive like art style. Some people do great work outside of it, but like you can tell what, like, even if you draw it, you can see like, oh, it's a tattoo art. Yeah. It's the same thing with these Sukajan embroidery. It's like you can recognize it, and you just like that's the Sukajan style design. Right. And I think that's fantastic. And like a lot of these jackets are kind of like a satin, very like a
high luster, silky kind of look
fabric, but they have a lot that was done on cotton.
Or like on HBT fabrics, or or even just simple cotton twills, like these ones here. So there's a lot of options in this realm. Maybe you'll find something that appeals to you. Definitely a little bit on the louder side, but I think if you are in that raw denim vintage loving world, this is sort of something that you want to have in the collection. And even maybe you're not going to wear this every day. Mm-hmm. You know, it is kind of fun to pull one of these out every now and then and wear it. And, you know, I know that every now and then, you know, it's more in the summertime. Like, Risa and I will, you know, we'll both wear one and we'll go out and, like, you know, it's just a cool couples fashion. I remember one time we were in Paris and we were wearing, not identical matching jackets, but you know, matching jackets. And we were at a vintage shop and this one guy was like, he was like, he worked in the shop. He's like, I need to take your photo. Like that, this has to happen right now. So, you know, the people who appreciate it definitely really appreciate it. And anyhow, look into it. I really enjoy it. I will say this. I'm not against the idea of maybe putting an embroidery like this on something, but it would have to be done the right way. Or not the right way. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how many people, like, there's not a lot of people alive left that still do it, like, by hand. Mm-hmm. And if we did it by machine, like, fully automated by machine, I mean, I guess there's a heritage to it, just because, you know, it's pulling from that sort of graphical style, but I would definitely love to have it by hand.
I want to learn it while I still can. So I you know, obviously, like, with the chain stitch embroidery too, like, I offer that service in a very limited capacity, and, you know, I just can't put all of my time into it. I can't be a professional embroiderer.
Yeah.
But I'm very happy that I learned that skill, and I'm still learning, obviously, but, like, you know, it's just like those kind of skills are, like, I don't know. It's just if the time allows, like, that is a fantastic skill to have, even if that's not, you know, the way I, you know, make my living or whatever. But it's just it's exciting, and then, you know, the in the limited capacity that I can share, I would like to do that. And I think, you know, obviously there's professionals, and I think there are, like, you know, I follow all these Instagram accounts of, like, younger embroiderers that continue the, you know, tradition, and they're doing great work, and they're doing, you know, obviously more, you know, modern way. They have a million things that they can do, and, you know, it's time consuming, so it end up getting really, really expensive. But those kind of art, I don't think we should, you know, lose.
Right. Junior says, I need to buy one of those jackets next time I go to Japan. I hope you do. I hope you enjoy one.
Yeah, just be careful, you know.
There are a lot of, like, cheapy fake ones. They're not fake, but they're cheap. Yeah. Right? You'll know them when you see them. You'll know them when you see them once you've seen, like, the real deal. Because I think from far, especially if you haven't handled these before, like, you might get confused by some of, like, the crappier ones. And they will often sell them, like, if you go to Ueno Market, which is kind of like where a lot of denim shops are in Tokyo. There's a lot of stores that kind of sell the crappier ones. But if you go to, like, places like Hanoya or...
well, it's kind of the sad thing is that, like, Ueno is a place to go to buy real deal. And also, like, because of that, there's a ton. Like, a majority is, you know, not the highest.
Not the highest quality.
You know, it's just computer done. Like, again, like,
but also, like, the silky material is very crappy. And,
and design is not that great. So... I mean, obviously, just go and see and, you know, feel the stuff. And obviously, the real deal are going to be more expensive. So if your budget is limited and you still want that style, there are options that are, you know, cheaper and, you know, maybe more mass produced. But, you know, at least that because of that, it's cheaper.
Yeah. So. The company you want to look out for is called Toyo, Toyo. They they're the ones who started making them sort of in mass back in the day.
They were doing it. Like, I think they're the only ones from back in the day because those were all like very small, independent-owned like stores in Yokosuka or wherever.
Little studios.
Yeah, and then Toyo, I think, in my understanding, is the only one who survived from that age all the way to now.
Yeah,
and now they're a decent-sized company, so they can do a lot of things.
Yeah, at this exhibition that we went to, I'm trying to see if they have it in the magazine, but they had all these receipts and invoices from Toyo to I don't think you can see it here. It's kind of small, but they had on display like actual bills and invoices that they had to like the U.S. military.
Yeah, so it's fascinating. It's not only that they were dealing with like individual soldiers, taking, the custom orders, but also they would be making things, in bulk, and selling at the base. So the base gift shop or whatever would order and from Toyo, and then they would, deliver the same design in different sizes and all that stuff.
Yeah. So Junior says, I want a tacky one. You can definitely find one. So yeah, anyhow, there's a little knowledge on Sukajan.
Yeah.
Or souvenir jackets that you can get here in Japan.
Yeah, I don't even know how we got started, but we...
Well, somebody said they saw one in the background of an older video, so... yeah, there you go. I think they're pretty neat. I think these days, maybe American dollars, you're looking to spend like $300 to $500 on one, sort of the going rate.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah. Like a modern, brand new one that is made the old school way. Yeah, probably. Yeah. The vintage one could, go up
very high.
Sky's the limit kind of thing.
Because there's fewer and fewer of these ones. I was lucky to get this when I did get it, but I think I paid less than $200, I think, for this.
But that was before all the the trendy people got in on it.
Oh yeah, that was a long time ago. So I was lucky to grab that one when I did. Anonymous writes, will you guys be doing anything for people visiting for the marathon in late February? Will the new store be open by then?
Okay, so let's get into the business of store.
The business update. Of business.
So we have, last week, 2 weeks ago, when the last live stream, we shared a potential location, which we were looking to get. We did not get that spot.
Yeah, unfortunately, we put the application in, we did everything we were supposed to do. I guess, we were competing with others in that respect, and they went in another direction. But
we did find another spot which we kind of loved more. And we went to look at it yesterday. Yeah. Lisa and I, and we put in the application last night. Yeah. So we don't know yet, but we're
looking at it.
Hopeful.
So it's located in Nakameguro. So for people who know Tokyo, this is sort of a famous area for cherry blossoms. And we've got a nice view of cherry blossoms during cherry blossom season. So we're not exactly on the river, but we are. We've got a good view of it.
Behind, yeah.
Yeah. So if you do come, we're not too out. We're not in the boonies. We're accessible, and so
there's a lot of nice stores and nice, cool people around this area. So there's a lot to do.
Yeah. So this is. I'm just showing you guys some of the photos, and so this is sort of the as you come in. This is sort of the working area. And another thing that I really like about this is that aesthetically, that's the outside of the building. It's very similar to our home. Right, so a lot of concrete, no insulation, very open, and so I really liked that because if we're gonna be creating videos and other things like that, it all kind of fits together, and so this is a look of the inside. It's got a nice little kitchen and bar area like we have in our home right here, and we would turn this area into sort of the inventory warehouse. That's sort of the idea. And then you've got this is the entrance sort of hallway. And then we have like a studio in the back where I think we'll turn that into like a photo studio where we can do product photos, lifestyle photos, that sort of thing here on our own, and maybe just a little extra storage. But this is what we're looking at. So hopefully it works out and we can use this as a warehouse, workspace, and a space for those who are visiting to come and shop in person. So it's not going to be like a retail store, but it'll be more of a showroom where we can accept visitors on appointment. Yeah. So this is the idea. This is the hope. This is the next best option for us.
I think it is the best, to be fair. I like the more than the other place. Part of it is because it's already kind of laid out for us. Yeah. So we don't have to do a lot of work to put it together.
Right. Less renovation to get it up and running. So I'm very happy about that.
Yeah. With that said, even if we get this place, end of February might be the earliest we can get this spot.
That we can move into the spot. Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I don't think we'll be up and running if you come in February to visit the spot. But if we do get it by February, maybe by March, April, we'll be up and running and available for visitors to come. And I think by March, I mean, if you're coming in February, you're coming in February, but March, April, that sort of triggers tourist season here in Japan. Mind you, there's a lot of tourists here at the moment, but I think we'll get to see a good many people at that time. So hopefully it works out and we get the space. Does it come with the Heineken fridge?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. But we could probably secure a similar looking fridge. That. I wouldn't mind having a fridge like that.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I definitely want one. So fingers crossed for us guys that this one works out. We'll keep you posted, but this is what we're very, very excited about. Unfortunately, we didn't get the last spot, but this one also came up right on time. So we're making moves, guys.
Yeah.
We want to serve you.
And it's incredible because, first I actually didn't want to show this spot on the live stream because of the last thing. I don't know. I mean, it's the places that we want are, relatively good value for the size or for the location and stuff like that, obviously. So it gets more popular. We're not the only ones who wants this. So this is just as real as it gets. We have no idea. We just applied last night, like literally, maybe 12 hours ago. So it's we share so much. You guys know way more than our even family knows. So.
It's true. So, we try to keep you guys updated with everything and, just to see what it's like to sort of go on this journey. But it's exciting to get into sort of, it's not full retail, but also within this area, there's a lot of retail. So if we want to get into like storefront retail, I think this is definitely one of the neighborhoods that was on my list for like if we were going to open a street front store, that's where we would do it. So it would be kind of nice to have like HQ close to where the retail store is.
Obviously we're not expecting random traffic from this store, and it's a very different business than having a store that's open and people can just wander in. So I think it's the right step for us. It will be a big change. The space itself is so much bigger, like quadruple.
Yeah.
At least more than that, maybe. For less than 5 times the size of our current warehouse, but it is a lot bigger. And obviously we can't use all of the space as warehouse, but that just means more space means we can carry more inventory and we can expand our line significantly. So I'm looking forward to that as well.
Yeah. Junior says your family needs to subscribe. They do subscribe.
They do. Yeah.
And they do watch these streams. I think they get the news the same time you guys get the news, so...
Because we're not always talking about work, right?
Right.
Like, it's...
So, we've got a very supportive family and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's... I think just going in these, carefully guided steps is the way to do it. Small warehouse, outgrow that, go into something bigger. And then, if we're going to get into, like, the retail world, we're going to have to hire staff, and then that's a whole, new mission for us. And, we'll take it from there. We'll go from there, small steps. But the first thing I think that we need to really establish is sort of maintaining our inventory levels. Mm-hmm. And with a bigger warehouse, we're going to be able to do that. Right? So that'll be the next step. And speaking of... That's a great segue. Man, I segued it so good. Inventory levels. What is coming up inventory-wise?
We will get another next delivery shipment will be double heavyweight T-shirts. We originally said that they would be ready in December. It looks like it's going to be pushed to January. But we will have solid colors of our double heavyweight T-shirts, which is white, black, khaki, and navy. Those 4 colors will be restocked sometime in hopefully early January. And we will have a more full, like all color, all size restock coming up in the spring. But until then, we would have those 4 colors restocked for the meantime, and we're hoping the delivery will be will arrive by the end of December. So that's kind of the timeline we're hoping for, and we will have a New Year's break. We're not able to ship in the last week / the first week of 2025. Japan is just closed. So we don't have any pickups, so we don't have any way to ship. So we're pausing shipping from, I think, starting on the 28th of December all the way until, I think... January 3rd. Well,
3rd is a Friday, I think.
3rd is a Friday,
okay.
And Saturday, Sunday. We may be able to ship on the 4th.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know that yet, so I'm not going to promise anything. So as of right now, 28th all the way through the 5th, we will have no shipping.
Okay.
So the first shipping will open up in January 6th, and hopefully by then we would be able to launch the restock of double heavyweight T-shirts in those 4 colors. And following that, we will have a bunch of stuff coming in spring. So spring will be an exciting time because we will have, again, double heavyweight T-shirts in full range that includes heather gray and charcoal. Mm-hmm. So we have that. We will have fox fiber T-shirts.
Yep.
We have ultimate Pima T-shirts. And we will have Super Loopers in new colors.
So, a lot of stuff coming.
A lot of stuff coming between maybe February, March, maybe April.
So if we have to move from this warehouse to the next warehouse...
We want to be done.
We want to be as light as possible.
But I think it's actually not possible. Because
all the stuff's coming in around then.
Anyways, we will be okay. We'll manage. We're not going to carry everything by hand. We'll hire a mover, I think.
Yes.
We've learned that mistake. When we moved from here, holding stock here, to like a couple blocks away, we did it all by ourselves. But that was a hard day.
It was a tough day. But anyhow,
Anyhow, so yeah, we have a lot coming. It's just right now we're kind of like a low season. Our inventory is very low. Not much happening. Although some of you might have gotten a notification yesterday because we kind of did a little inventory of our warehouse.
Yeah,
there was just there's always discrepancies.
Yeah.
Don't ask me why, but it just happens.
Yeah, returns come in and things. All
things
kinds
like
of stuff.
That. So we have recounted inventory, and we added some of the stuff that was not online. So maybe it triggered a bunch of notify
back in stock notifications.
Yeah. So maybe some of you got lucky, some of you missed out.
Yeah.
But we have a couple of things that's still from that restock. That's online. And if you are waiting for something to come back in stock, you could get lucky like that. So I really suggest, even if next schedule restock is however February, March, but you may get lucky with like these random inventory that we find. So I strongly suggest that if you're looking for something, sign up to be notified by email from our product page.
Yeah, always a good idea, because especially after a release, things sell out. And then once things are delivered, sometimes people realize maybe this isn't the right size or, whatnot. They want to change it for something else. So returns happen.
Yeah.
Right?
And returns sometimes take us a long time. I'm the one who kind of backs it up a little.
Yeah.
Because, the return item needs to be, steamed and made sure that it's in perfect condition to sell as new. So it takes sometimes a while, so it doesn't happen right away. But whenever we feel it's ready, is when it's going to go online. So
yeah, so put those notifications in. You never know when you're going to get that email, that call to action. Jose Milk says, appointment only shopping was nice in Madrid at Red Cast Heritage. Our friends there in España grabbed a double heavyweight zip hoodie. Nice. Fantastic. I hope you enjoy it a lot. And shout outs to Red Cast Heritage. Great folks out there. Asks Minister says, any khaki double heavyweight zips coming up? Khaki double heavyweights. I don't know. I mean, there's no new inventory coming in.
Yeah.
And the khaki is going to get retired after this season. And that's going to make room for the new sage color that we have coming in. So green and khaki are getting retired from the double heavyweight French Terry line to make way for a new color that we're introducing. Now, that's not to say that they won't ever come back. It's just that we want to introduce new color. So anyhow, it was just when we were deciding this, it was a space issue. Maybe it'll change a little bit later on. Anyways.
But we can't always have all the colors all the time. We gotta, rotate a little bit.
Yeah. So no plans right now. So sign up for that back in stock or check through our retail partner list. Speaking of our retail partners, I just want to remind folks that at Gerhard, let's pull up the old browser window. Biggity bam. Gerhard, our friends in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. They carry Wonder Looper, as you guys know. We did a great event there. They, for most of November, removed the Wonder Looper products from their website so that they would have. They were selling it in a store, and they just wanted to make sure they had stuff for the event.
Yeah.
So now they've made all of that inventory available online again, if it loads, or maybe it all sold out. I don't think so. I think it's just a loading issue. Here we go. So if you're looking for stuff, check out Gerhard. Like that khaki, it's maybe they have your size. So small and medium are available. So check out Gerhard Supply because they just put their inventory back online. And a lot of this stuff, a lot of it is just sold out on our website. So that stuff all flew. But you can see the theme of Wonder Looper is sold out. But you can still find some items here that we've sold out of a while back. So check out Gerhard And they have the long sleeves in stock as well. So this is something that we had the last of sent over to them for the event. We sold a bunch that day, and then the remaining stock is now available. Now, there's not much, but a large in that's a popular size. So maybe if you're looking for it, go and grab it at Gerhard. Show them your support.
Yeah. All right, so Jacob Grubb asks an important question, which I forgot to mention earlier in talking about the double heavyweight T-shirts restock. So at the same time as all these 4 solid colors would be available, we will receive a batch to be that's made for garment dyeing. So that's when we open up the Natural Indigo, Tokushima Natural Indigo hand-dyed T-shirt pre-order thing again. So we did that last time in, I don't know, in the spring.
Yeah, let me. I think I might have some pictures of that,
and it was very popular. So we decided to do it again. We increased the quantity just by a little. The reason for that is that obviously this is very labor intensive. It is a lot of work. So if we were to do like a humongous batch, it would take forever. And we just wanted to do it in smaller batches so that they can handle it and it gets done properly in a timely manner. But the last time we did this, we had actually hired a professional photographer to be there. We weren't able to be there. It's in Tokushima. It's kind of far. But we sent a professional photographer to be there and document the whole process. So we have wonderful photos this time around to show when we open up this pre-order.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see if they can download now. I wouldn't mind showing a couple of these pictures because there are some handsome photos.
Yeah. And the thing about this pre-order, we got asked a lot of questions about this last time, so I'm just going to, put it out there that the quantity of the T-shirts are limited. It's not pre-order like we're going to make the garment for you. We have the T-shirts already being made in a limited quantity. What the pre-order is for is that you can choose your size and you can choose the shade of indigo. So we have level 1 through 4 that determines how deep the indigo is. That actually means how many dips they have to do. So like the darker colors are slightly more expensive than the lighter colors because it is more work. But you can choose the shade of indigo of the T-shirt. Obviously, if it's darker, you get a lot more, deeper color, and you get, after it fades, it'll still be blue. Whereas if you started off with lighter blue, maybe after a couple years of wear and wash, you might get like even, closer to white.
Yeah. So one thing that was very special about this was that they were able to control the dye, right? So we got all these beautiful shades. And I think that's something very special, especially because everything here is done by hand. And this is really cool because this is their logbook of like all the different shades of indigo, just from batch to batch, year to year. And it's really neat to see, even just the slight variances of blue. And this is something that they do completely by hand. This gentleman grows all the indigo himself on his own farm. So
yeah, he has a team.
Yeah,
but so they grow the indigo.
Well, let's go to maybe I'll go to the start. Here we go. So this is their farm.
So they grow the indigo plant. And then they do a bunch of, I don't have the steps in hand or in my head, but they have to do, like, they have to harvest it and they have to, like, dry it and ferment it and all kinds of process in order for them to make a dye. And then using that dye, they are using their hands and just dipping the T-shirts and making sure they get dyed.
Yeah.
relatively evenly.
Yeah.
Obviously, it is a natural dye done by hand, so it's not fully even, which is the beautiful part of this, is that it's slightly just uneven throughout, and that's so beautiful.
And again, everything is individually hand dyed.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, you know, when we send him an order of like 200 shirts, he's got to do this 200 times. Yeah. So it's not a simple process. And of course, this is his own method of, you know, doing it by hand and also knowing how long that shirt needs to stay in the dye in order to achieve a certain shade of blue. And like the consistency was pretty incredible. Yeah. I mean, you really have to know what you're doing in order to do this all by hand. And so we're very, very happy and satisfied with the results, of course.
And as you can see, like when you pull the t-shirt out of the dye, it looks green. It's more green. The indigo, you know, maybe you've seen this in the denim rope dyeing process. Like you dip it and it comes out green like that.
Yeah.
But with the exposure to oxygen, it would turn blue. So again, like, you know, he's not looking at the color right then and there. He knows what the next steps would be and how it turns out.
That's right. So this is the indigo fermenting in the ground here. So this is, you know, where his indigo dye lots are. And this is also the same mill that does a lot of the yarns for like Tokushima natural indigo dyed yarns that you might find in a Hank dyed jean, for example. So the same methods that they're using to create those yarns, they're also doing with garment dye for us here. And of course, I think it creates something special. You can see here all the different beautiful shades. So this is something that we're looking forward to bringing back again. It was very, very successful, very popular last time we did it. And I think a very unique way to have a t-shirt. There's one thing to have an indigo dyed t-shirt. There's another thing to have a Tokushima hand dyed by the person who actually grows the yarn. Sorry, grows the plant, makes the dye, does absolutely everything in-house. So a very, very special t-shirt indeed. And
again, the t-shirt base is separate from a regular t-shirt. You can see that like the t-shirt is dyed uniformly. If you were to dye your t-shirt, like say white t-shirts at home, it would leave the sewing thread seams all, you know, basically white because it's not sewn with cotton yarns. These t-shirts are made specifically for this purpose, so it is sewn with cotton yarn, so that the yarn thread that we use for sewing also can get dyed.
Yeah, and you can see his nails here. I mean, this is a true sign of an indigo dyer, is that their nails are going to be permanently blue. So that's. I always like that. I've done like some like little indigo hand dyeing, and your nails turn a little bit blue, and especially coming from like the raw denim world, it's just kind of a badge of honor. But of course, I'm not a real indigo dyer, but I always thought that was pretty cool. Just the other day, I was we were in the warehouse just washing my hands after, and there's a difference between, I guess, doing the work that we do now and the work that we come from, in the denim world. And I would say, after a hard day of work in denim, you're washing your hands and it's always just the amount of indigo on your hands is it's blue. So anyhow, I'm so glad we could still do indigo stuff. That said, so this will be, some of the natural dye stuff coming for 2025, and I'm looking forward to going even deeper. Kakishibu dyes, more natural dyes. The other day, we saw something that I never knew it even existed. The black Kakishibu dye.
Oh yeah. That was like iron.
Iron mordant.
Yeah.
With Kakishibu dye.
Yeah.
And it was
cool.
Amazing. It was black, and So we were at, actually we bought a bag. I don't know where the bag is. But, Risa bought a purse the other day. And we were walking by this shop. And I saw it and I'm like, wow, that's a really cool bag. Yeah. So we went inside and we just had to buy it.
Yeah. Because from the window we just saw the design and the color and it was like fantastic. And we went in and we learned that it was like Kakishibu. So it was done by Porter, Yoshida Kaban. And this is Kakishibu dyed nylon bag. Yeah. So it's all like crunchy and very nylon-y. Yeah. But it's all dyed in Kakishibu. As you can see, like, you know, it's just a beautiful thing of natural dyes that it's so uneven.
Yeah, and you can see in the seams, it's also not very even as well. So you can see they started with like a white nylon. Yeah. And then they garment dyed it, piece dyed it in Kakishibu. And it has this beautiful shade, this beautiful tone. And this bag came in this color. Yeah. And it also black. Came in black.
Yeah. And I was there for like 20 minutes. Couldn't decide which color I wanted.
At first, I'm like, okay, so I looked at the color and she's like a natural dye. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, so Kakishibu here. Right. And I thought the other one was like Sumi. Yeah. And she's like, no.
It's also Kakishibu.
And I was like, what do you mean? Uh-huh. I've not seen black Kakishibu before. And then she explained, I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even know you could do that. Yeah. And so, anyhow, that definitely inspired it. So we're going to look into, Kakishibu. I'd like to do an iron mordant Kakishibu, and as well as like some floral dyes and things like that. So there will be more options to...
There's like sakura bark dye that I want to do. There's a lot, and I'm looking forward to expanding this line. But indigo is definitely a priority in terms of where we were, our background and everything. But because this place is indigo only, obviously they just they're all the way indigo. So we're just working with them for now, and then we will.
Explore some other dye houses as well. So 2025 is going to be a very exciting one, I think, for natural dyes. You showed off...
Natural dye probably the more... It might be the year after, 2026. I think we're aiming for spring 2026 for a bunch of natural dye options.
Still. Anyway, we're going
to... We're going to make moves next year.
Yeah. You showed off your recent pickup. Mm-hmm. I got some recent pickups.
All right,
I just want to show this off because I was very happy to get... This came in yesterday. This is my new G-Shock. You guys know how much I love G-Shock. So this is the recreation of the first G-Shock. This is the... I forget the model number. But anyhow, this just literally came out yesterday. Got it yesterday. I was lucky to get one. And so I've got it with the, it's got the red stripe on the inside. I've got the burgundy Super Looper sweatshirt. I'm just feeling like 80s dad mode right now. I've got the blue jeans on. I should be wearing some Cortez Nikes and, throwing the football around. That's how I feel right now. I just feel very...
And the glasses.
Yeah, very 1980s. So I'm happy to get this one. And then a couple of weeks ago, I showed you guys... this titanium G-Shock that I picked up, and I really like this watch because I just think it's really cool. So this one's from 1986, and I knew that there was a variant of this one with like a golden screen and gold buttons, so I had to buy it. I found it and I bought it, so now I have both, and I'm happy to say that I have both of these MRGs from 96 titanium watches, built to last, and you can see that they're almost 30 years old, and they're still going strong here. So happy to see that. More watches for the collection. I love my Casios. I love my digital watches, and they're inexpensive. So this is a hobby that I can get into without feeling too bad. Mm-hmm. They're $80, $100 at a time is not so terrible. It's not like luxury watches. You buy a Rolex, and I could have bought 100 of. I could have bought 1,000 of these. You know what I mean? So And they don't take up that much space, luckily. So just adding to the collection. Any other cool pickups we've had recently? Oh, a new Fire King mug.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let me get that.
I also have gotten a new mug. I'm trying it on for the first time today. You start with yours.
Yeah. So pick this one up in Toronto. Nice milk glass with this like 50s style, mid-century starburst. I really liked this design. I really like this blue color as well. I thought that was a very handsome mug. I think I picked this up for $10, so that was a good find for me. I'm happy to get this one, and you can see it has a nice. Can you see it? Fire King branding here on the bottom. Anchor Hawking, Fire King. So Anchor Hawking is still around. They don't make a lot of fire. I don't think they make any Fire King product anymore today. In Japan they do. I guess they have the license for the name, but that's it. And then this one is made in the USA. So there you go. Nice, a nice mug for the Fire King, ever-growing Fire King mug collection.
I like that.
Yeah.
The color and the pattern.
So from my classic mug to the future of mugs.
Mug of the future. This is, I got this as a gift from my lovely brother-in-law. This is an amber mug I think it's a ceramic mug that has a battery, I think at the bottom, that keeps the drink at exact temperature you want. Like you can set the temperature by like half a degree Celsius. So you can put it to 55.5 or 56.
Yeah.
Depending on how you feel. It comes with like a coaster that is also like a charger. So I have this plugged in on the desk, and it charges the battery, but this one also contains a battery so on its own it keeps the temperature for a certain amount of time, and then if I put it on the coaster, it charges it, and it's I tried it the first time this morning, and I was just like, I had a hot cup of coffee and set the temperature, and I sat there and 20 minutes later, I just sip a drink and it's still
warm,
hot, like a fresh cup of coffee. Yeah. It was just kind of a weird feeling. So I'm just kind of worried that if I get spoiled by this, next time I'll just use the Fire King mug, and it's just after 20 minutes I'll be like, what is this?
Right, analog mug, digital mug.
Yes.
So. Anyhow,
it's just the opposite of
I'm very used to my drinks getting cold fast. I don't mind because I find them they'll be a little bit more drinkable when they're not as hot. But our home gets really cold. As you can see by the amount of insulation we have, which is 0, outside temperature is basically inside temperature. And so we try to stay warm with, nice heavyweight sweatshirts. And
we have a lot of windows that get a lot of light in our home. So, when it's sunny and during the day, it doesn't bother us so much. Yeah. But as soon as the sun sets, or when the
gloomy gray day,
it really is hard to be comfortable at home.
Yeah.
So
We're cold often.
Always cold.
Yeah. So it also explains why we like heavyweight sweatshirts, because, they help keep you warm. But yeah, our home is very cold. There's not the greatest heating, and there's no insulation. So there's nothing keeping the heat in. And all single pane windows from the 1970s. So it's an old building, but anyway, we like it. But yeah, we got to find ways to stay warm, and warm drinks are usually the way we do it. And that's a pretty neat mug, I have to say. Kenny Ingram says, "Hi guys, I love my vintage Pyrex Old Town Blue mugs." We're with you, my friend. I really do enjoy I love these old mugs. I just love the way they look. I love the way they feel. They got a great weight to them, and styling wise, they've certainly lasted the test of time.
Yeah.
This one's, I'm very happy for that one to enter the collection. I really like that starburst pattern here. Stephen Kopacam writes, "Ooh, those are nice and expensive. I want one. Which one is nice and expensive?
The
mug? That black mug is a little pricey. I was, anyhow.
But, I really appreciate this as a gift because a gift is something that should be like what you wouldn't have bought yourself. Like, I didn't even think of, searching for,
a self-heating mug.
mug. Yeah. But, now that I get to experience it and enjoy it, so...
Yeah, I have to say that is a very, very thoughtful gift. Nicholas Vilpu, good to see you, my friend. Latest show, congrats on the new watch. Well, thank you very much. I'm over the moon with this old...
Did we talk about how you did not...
Yeah, I went to a store and I tried to order one, and the sales guy was very dismissive of me. It. And anyways, I was able to get one.
Yeah, so in your face.
Yeah, I'm gonna have my Julia Roberts moment. You work on commission, right?
Mistake. Yeah. Big mistake.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge mistake. He's crying himself to sleep right now. I'm sure of it. Right. So those are some of our latest pickups. Always shopping around, always trying to grab some new and interesting things. What are some of the kind of stuff that you guys like to collect outside of... I wonder how many vintage collectors we have in our audience.
It's hard to collect vintage stuff. It gets harder and harder, honestly. It's more accessible because everything is on the internet. But because of that, it's just everything is more expensive.
Yeah. We were in Toronto, and we went to one of my old stomping grounds, Kensington Market. And if you're in Toronto, Kensington Market is sort of... it's where all the thrift stop... I wouldn't call them thrift shops. They're vintage stores. And when I was a teenager, I mean, you went there, you got a vintage T-shirt for, $8.99, $10 bucks, maybe $20 at the most. I don't know. I just feel like it was definitely meant for like a very young audience, not a lot of money. It was also very, very hippie in terms of its like like there were a lot of like how can I say it, shops that sold incense. That type of look. The hippie with the dreadlocks kind of person, right? And some of that still exists there. Now there's a little bit more of like the commercialization of vintage clothing there, and some of the stores are more curated than others. And then some of the stores, one of the stores I went into, everything was fake.
Yeah.
Everything in the store was fake. Vintage, everything.
Brand new thing that it's made to look like vintage. I don't think they were claiming that they're vintage, but like it's just one of those things where it kind of ruins the vibe of the area.
Bingo. But that store has been around for a long time, right? And so I just feel like maybe they at some point they just made the switch that figured, hey, it's a lot easier to secure a steady stream of Tupac T-shirts than it is to find actual old ones.
Yeah, obviously. But also, like, maybe it happened because a lot of customers don't care.
Yeah, I would say that a lot of people who are shopping for vintage are more interested in the aesthetic rather than the historical value of it. I'm much more interested in the historical value of old garments than the actual look of them. Because, I mean, there's a lot of things I'll buy just to buy it. Like, I just want to have it. I'm never going to wear it. It's not my size. It has nothing. I just appreciate the historical value of that garment. It was made in a special way. Maybe it was something that was made in America or made somewhere that they just don't make these things anymore. And
it's just like it's also like kind of serendipitous, right? Like it's not like you can just get it. Like you were there while that garment is available right in front of you. It just feels special.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I think, like fake vintage or new vintage, vintage style garments kind of like take that magic of, finding a great item.
Right. It steals that that treasure hunt away from you.
Yeah, it's a little sad.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I can also see that, as a business, you have to cater to what customer wants. And if the customer doesn't care, then,
BD says, I think I know the store you mean. I'm pretty sure if you've been to Kensington. It's obvious if you know vintage.
No, I think it's obvious to anybody.
Maybe because the stuff looks too new.
But also just like, because the vintage store has like all these like random different things. Like they had like one, like not one thing, but like the one kind of things.
Like if you have 4 of the same shirt, it's a little suspect, right? And I remember I picked up a bag, and I don't want to, look, I'm not going to throw shade, but I picked up a bag. And like I got it, I went into the store, and I'm like, I was like, there's something off about everything in here. The prices they're vintage collector prices. And I'm like, okay, so is it that this stuff is just in really good condition and they're charging what they're charging for it? Like, it just took me a second to kind of sniff it out. And I picked up this bag, and it had like this great embroidery on it, and it looked brand new, and the price was high. And I said to the girl, can you tell me anything about this bag? Like, why is it this price? I don't think I used those words exactly, but I was
what's the story here?
Like, what's the story here? And she's like, basically, I don't know. I can't tell you anything. I don't know anything about that bag. And I'm like, all right. Well, I'm going to put that one right back. I looked around the store for another minute. I saw a couple of T-shirts that were just too fresh and brand new looking, and I'm like, everything in here is not real. It's real. I mean, it's a real T-shirt with an old graphic on it. And I have to say that some of the stuff I found in there was well done. Well done to the point where, like, I know just because I know that all that stuff came from Thailand. Thailand is a very big,
fake vintage market.
Yeah, fake vintage market. I mean, anything that you could fake, Thailand just you can find it there. I've been to markets where I've even found like fake Naked and Famous jeans, and so I knew everything was coming from Thailand. And one thing that Thailand is very good at is making things well, right? Like if you want to, the T-shirt I saw in question was just. It was just crappily constructed enough, which I think was definitely on purpose, to make you think that, oh yeah, this was just like a throwaway like 80s tee, right? It was just something that was made back then. It wasn't really made for quality. It was just made, print something on it real quick. And I'm looking at the details, and I'm just like, it's a good dupe. But it's not what I want. If I want like that artist's T-shirt from 1980, I want the real deal. I want the real one. I don't want this one.
To me, that store was pretty obviously like fake vintage. Though, like, the bag you picked up, it's like, the thing is like there is a lot of work done. Like the detail was good, and so even if like. It's like because the store can be mixed. The store can be like both. Like you have real vintage and you also have fake vintage.
Right.
Like
But I think like if you go into a Hot Topic and they have like a Britney Spears T-shirt, with a graphic from '99, I know it's like I know what they're doing, right? I think them kind of putting themselves in this place where all the stores here are vintage stores, and we're going to sell not like real vintage. I think that's where the lie comes in. If you're to just be honest and be like, yo, these are repros and this and that, that's one thing. I have no problem with that. It's just that there's this I'm not telling you, you're not asking, I'm not telling. And I'm certainly, and even if you do ask, I'm not telling you. And I thought that was not nice. Yeah. Anyhow. Yeah, that's how I felt about that. Stephen Colbacam, I've never cared if something is vintage or not. I just want good quality things. Vintage to me just means I can't afford it. Oh, okay. And people will tell me it's better than what I have.
I don't think so, because
not everything vintage is better quality.
No, definitely not. And vintage value comes in when, you can't get that anymore.
Yeah.
I think that's where it comes in. Going back to the Sukajan, thing, it's like, yes, you can get, like, you can get, like, the brand new computerized embroidery things. And to be fair, in a certain ways, like, they are, if they use the, like, good material fabric, they are probably better made.
Yeah.
It's just that, like, when you buy vintage, sometimes, like, again, like, it's not that I can get it in size small, medium, and large. It's one of the one, and I if I pass out, if I don't get it now, I probably won't ever see this again. That kind of feel is, like, why, like, vintage is special. And it's just, there's also, like, an aspect of how, it has the story, it has, like, aged, natural aged, and, things like that, especially with jeans and stuff, like, obviously, like, you can see the fully, like, fade by person versus fade by, machine or even by hand, like, fake fading is different from real fading. So there's this value in actually being old, right? Other than, like, obviously there's construction differences. I'm not saying which one's better. It depends on some of the things. The new one's better in terms of quality.
Speaking of things that are old, BD says, besides Gerhard, do you have any remarkable shops you liked on the great end of an experience? There's a store in Toronto that I really love. And actually, I don't think I've ever been on their website until right now. And speaking of old, guys, you got to look at this website. You got to look at this website. It's Bay Street Video. It says Toronto's largest DVD collection, and I believe it. There's not a lot of physical media stores in the West anymore, especially in Toronto. They're probably the only one I know that exists anymore in Toronto that just like, we went to Sonic Boom and they had no more movies there. And, like, we're movie collectors. Mm-hmm. And so, like, I like to go to Bay Street Video. They've got a great selection. They're old school. They keep it old school. And even their website is old school. Their receipts come out on dot matrix printer. I loved it. I love shopping there. The prices are okay, but for me, the experience is that they got everything. So if you're looking for something, they have it. Definitely a store worth checking out if you're in the Toronto area. And
you don't get a great deal, but you get what you're looking for if you're looking for something specific.
Yeah. And just look at this website. I love it. And I just, they do it. Look, they're just themselves. They know what they are, and they keep it simple. Mm-hmm. And this website exudes that. I love this website. And
there are, like, most of the real estate of the stores dedicated for rentals.
Yeah.
So that means they're probably, more rental based.
Probably.
It's just insane. Like, who is renting these things?
Student rental rates, $250 a day. It's not bad. I mean,
if you live nearby and you like movies that are kind of obscure and just hard to get.
Yeah, rent 2 or more, $4.30 each. I would also say that if you are a 4K, like, if you're a 4K movie enthusiast, you're collecting 4K movies or you want to watch movies in 4K, you got that new OLED screen TV, you got the 4K Blu-ray player, you want to get the most resolution out of it, you got to watch the 4K Blu-ray. But streaming it, you don't get the full, uncompressed file. You got to have the disc. And there's not a lot of places to rent 4K movies. Mm-hmm. So, if you're in the Toronto area, definitely go here because they have a great selection. You can enjoy those movies in the highest quality possible. Junior says that's peak website design. I'm just so happy. I'm over the moon with the fact that they're just like, look, we made this in '94. and we're going to get the most out of it.
Yeah, but you hate it when Japanese company does it.
That's true. That's true. Japanese websites, a lot of them still look like that. Yeah. But I think...
It's not ironic.
Right, but I think the difference is it's like a major corporation in Japan would have a website like that.
Not anymore. Like, it really changed in the past, 10 years. Yeah. But, 10 years ago, it was very, normal for, a company who, makes, hundreds of millions of dollars a year can have the crappiest websites.
So... Anyhow, I think it just goes with their aesthetic. They're hanging on the physical media. Like, we're gonna hold on to this old school traditional. It's weird for me to say physical media is traditional, but let's be real. It is. So they kept the website traditional also. I like that. Very, very smart. BD says, damn, no movies at Sonic Boom. Been a while since I've been in. It was also a while since we went in there, and they did not have any movies. They had a couple of concert Blu-rays, but they did have denim jackets. They had a little vintage. Everybody in Toronto was trying to sell you some vintage, and they had a couple of racks of denim jackets.
Yeah. I also had a bunch of movie posters.
Yes.
But no movies.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. I mean, Sonic Boom is a record store. Let's be real. But when I would go there, I buy my used CDs there, and I would also buy a lot of movies there. I would also buy concert posters there. One thing that they used to have. I don't know if they had it anymore, but anytime a band would come to Toronto, they would have their flyers or posters around the city, and they would often have those things framed and for sale on the wall at that Bathurst location. So anyways, pretty cool, nostalgic place for me. It is in close to Chinatown, the new location in Toronto, but definitely worth going to. A lot of vinyl. A lot of CDs. I'm sure they have tons of cassettes as well. A great place to visit when in Toronto. So those are my physical media spots for you to check out. All right, guys, let's get into a snack time. We've got, I think, something interesting today, and we're going to let you guys pick the snack. Because these snacks are... Well, Risa, why don't you show off these snacks?
Okay, so I'm going to go with... let's start with more interesting one.
Okay.
This is Fugu Beaver. So Beaver is a series of snacks that's made from rice, sticky rice. A fried puffed sticky rice kind of snack. Mm-hmm. And it has a bunch of flavors. But this one is, I guess it's a limited edition from Noto region. It's a fugu. It's the puffer fish.
Yeah. So for those people my age, you might remember the episode of The Simpsons that introduced us to the puffer fish. And it was that episode where Homer and the family go to the sushi restaurant, and he has some fugu. He has some puffer fish, and he's told that, hey, you've got 24 hours to live. Because this fish, if improperly served to you, can kill you.
Mm-hmm. It's got poisonous parts, and that you have to cut around it. And if you even get a little bit of the poisonous part and consumes it, it's poisonous. You could be dead.
I'm just going to say, seems not worth it. There's a lot of risk here.
But I think people like that aspect of it. It's just kind of
I guess so. There's a lot of fish in the sea, right? There's a lot of fish in the sea, and if you don't cut this one just right, you die.
Yeah.
And if this was the greatest tasting fish in the world, I would say, okay, maybe there's a little... It's fine. I've had it. It's fine.
Yeah. It doesn't have a lot. It's it's a white fish, right? Yeah. So it's not it's got a super distinctive flavor. It is wonderful. Then you can eat it in like different ways. This particular thing is the flavor of sashimi fugu, so uncooked.
Yeah.
So that's even better.
Yeah, and if you ever come to Japan, it's gonna like getting this fish. It's not like you go to like a regular sushi restaurant and they're gonna have it. You got to go to like a specialty restaurant, and it's gonna come out in like a bunch of different courses, and it comes out like very beautifully placed like that on a plate. But yeah,
it's usually also you usually eat it with this like chives, I guess, like a green onion, and this orange stuff is basically like a spicy bit,
right?
Like a grated, I think it's grated daikon vegetable, some kind of vegetable, and it's spicy. So I think that this tastes like that.
Okay. So, and then next we
also have a very spicy snack option. This is a Carolina Reaper.
Yeah.
Reaper?
Carolina Reaper. So,
I mean, we've tried this series from Tohado before.
Yeah.
It's a spicy snack.
Yeah, they're usually serious about their spice.
Pretty spicy. And this one is 10 times more spicy because, like I said, uses Carolina Reaper.
Yeah, so our options today are poison or poison. We're going to let you guys decide. Hit the like button now and let us know in the chat, what do you want us to eat? Fugu or Carolina Reaper? We're going to die for the live stream. We may die. There's a chance that we might die from eating snack time. So we're putting our life on the line for your entertainment. So let us know, guys, in the chat. Fugu or Carolina Reaper. We're going to let the chat decide how this is going to play out for us. But I was intrigued to see fugu flavored snacks. You don't really see it.
No, not at all.
I don't think I've ever seen a fugu flavored snack before. Carolina Reaper, I mean, there's a lot of spicy chips out there. I do like the packaging. The packaging here is very cool. It's got that nice but metallic blue flame here, and that Reaper looks very, very angry. We've got call outs for poison versus pain. I can't decide. BD Reaper. Hadra says spicy snack option Reaper. The Reaper is gonna win.
All right.
I you know, when we saw this, I'm like, we gotta get it. The snack, they like watching us eat spicy snacks. So I guess we're gonna do it. We're gonna do this time. All right, Fugu, you're gonna go. Maybe on another time. Bring the heat, PBMC says. Okay. Tyler writes, I vote Reaper only because I'm from the Carolinas, but I really want to see the poison pufferfish. All right. Ansel writes, Fugu, you won't taste anything after eating the Reaper. Love the Angry Reaper. I think Reaper is going to win here. Fugu, I'm starting to see a little bit more in there, but maybe we'll save this one for next time. Although, next week, what do we got? Next time might be Christmas snack time. Right? So we'll anyhow, Fugu will be around. We will save it for a live stream. But I think next week we're going to do the Christmas stream. So we'll have some Christmas festive delights to try. So let's open up this bad boy. Tohato Enmao.
Enmao.
I don't know what that means.
Flaming Mao. It's like a... What is the word? It's like a
evil spirit?
Evil king.
Evil king.
Like, yeah.
So what, on the back here, there's a graphic.
Yeah, so they are, basically, like, their original flavor is habanero. So habanero and jolokia?
I don't know.
Is that
I guess it's a variety.
Yeah. And they were...
married.
Like a genetically designed from these two, I guess, spicy maos, and became this little
happy guy down there.
Yeah.
He looks very menacing. Okay, we're gonna get in there. Oh, I'm actually a little afraid.
I'm not gonna eat the whole bag. I also burnt my tongue this morning with my oatmeal, so I don't know if I feel it.
I don't know if they added the ridges to make it look a little bit more angry.
Maybe.
But it's possible. So, grab a couple there.
Okay. It's small.
It's small.
Maybe it's because...
They are covered in dust.
You can only handle this much.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
Carolina Reaper.
Ooh. It's quick.
It's opening my sinuses.
Yeah. It gets to, like, the back of your nose quickly. Sometimes, like, very spicy things doesn't hit you till, like, after. The spiciness, like, it hit the sinuses, but the spiciness is staying on the tongue.
Yeah, it's tingling now. It's...
Ooh.
It's hot. It's not...
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's... Okay.
It's all over my mouth now. It's not... It's not painful, but it's lingering. Like, the heat is just... Your mouth is just hot, and your sinuses are open.
Mm-hmm. Like, I can tell which part of my tongue that the snack hit.
Yeah.
Really. It's just, I can tell because I can feel it. It's not, like, killing me.
No.
But it is...
This...
It is pretty strong.
It is wreck a kid.
It will wreck a kid.
This will very much...
Up until, like, age 14.
Yeah. Yeah, this would be very tough for a child. I would not recommend it. Even one would be a lot. Now, right now, I feel like the heat dissipating. This is still on my tongue, but my mouth isn't as hot anymore. So it doesn't linger, I guess, all that long. Taste is good. Heat is high. As advertised, edible. Right now, on my tongue, a little hot, not bad. Not even close to bad. Just, regular spicy. So it is something you could just consume. And if you ate the whole bag, your mouth is just going to be hot the whole time. Like if you're just constantly popping
and
these.
then I think after a while, you start to feel like it's in your system more. I think... Yeah, I ate maybe 4 or 5 of these little rings. If I ate 10, I would feel probably like my face couldn't sweat.
Maybe. If you went through the whole bag, you definitely would feel it.
Hard time processing it inside.
But I have to say that for such a spicy chip...
It's delicious.
It's delicious.
Yeah, it's kind of good.
And they made it sort of as easy to eat as it could be.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give this a high ranking hot chip. This is a high ranking hot chip.
I like that it like hit me right away in 2 different ways, and that's it. Like it's not one of those things like you eat a bunch and it's like you're gonna regret it like 2 minutes later.
Yeah. No, this is good. This is an A category, A rank hot chip. High rank. It's up there.
But you can't just, like, casually eat a bag of this. Like, it's not a very big bag.
Not a big bag, which I think is enough that, if you want to consume this, you can. It's not, I like it.
Yeah. And this series, like, it has the, it's like the ring snack in Canada, too. I'm sure every country has it. It's got, like, a very potato. It's kind of like Pringles.
Yeah.
Pringles.
Yeah.
Like powdered potato kind of taste.
So,
I like it.
I'm going to say, if you see this brand, you might not see this habanero or Carolina Reaper one in your local Asian grocery store, but oftentimes I do see this, their spicy chips, it'll maybe have that guy on it, in Asian grocery stores in the West. So if you see it, try it. If you see this, grab it. Definitely try it. If you're in Japan... Pick one of these up, bring it home, share it with your friends.
Yeah, but this guy is way more spicier than this guy. Yeah. Probably 10 times more.
Right. So, there you have it. Stephen Kopelkamp says, don't touch your eyes.
I gotta wash my hands after.
Yes, I gotta wash my hands. I remember I was in a crawfish restaurant in Vegas, and a lot of spicy crawfish. You eat everything with your hands, and in the washroom they had a sign that said, don't touch it. Don't touch it. It just said, don't touch it. And it was good advice. And I carry that advice with me to this very day. Okay, well, everybody, that wraps up this episode of the Wonder Looper live stream. We'll be back again next Friday, December the 20th, as we lead up until Christmas. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and watching all the way to the end. Before you leave, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and have yourselves a great weekend.
Try a spicy snack.
That's it. No, there you go. And